Hello, everybody.
Ah!
Hey,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing great. Little rushed, but we managed to get here on time. We were out fishing today for sockeye? No, king salmon, and we caught a bunch. We caught a bunch of rock bass and some other little. I don't know what they were, but we couldn't keep them in the boat. We had to release them right away. So the one I caught was Eric and I each caught wild king salmon because they have a little fin that's still on them and they're wild and you can't even bring them in a boat. So I was able to quickly get some pictures and short video clips, and we had
Is
to
that what
release.
those big silver fish were? You had a picture of them?
Yeah,
Yeah, those are cool.
yeah. We posted a picture on Facebook of Mariah and Brady and Eric and I before we left, and so we brought home two salmon tonight. So Mariah wants to try to make dinner tonight.
Neat.
Yeah. So anyway, hope you guys are well, and hope you guys had a great day. And Steve, quickly, what did you do last week that was exciting?
Well, we flew at Oshkosh, Wisconsin, dear Bab.
Woohoo!
Yeah, you bitch.
That's
How
very
was
cool.
it? A little intimidating?
So flying at a fly-in and flying in front of PPG people are more intimidating because we judge each other even if we don't say it. But at the same time, you watch other people make mistakes, even advanced people. So the crowds and stuff didn't intimidate me. What intimidated me was where the tree line was and the rotor coming off of that. Because if you can't go straight down the runway, then that's a little intimidating because you can't fly over campers. There's power lines, and you'd have to bank it pretty good and still follow a flight pattern. So the people and stuff didn't scare me. But even when I was setting up and clipping in, I actually was the least anxious I ever been in months. It was weird.
Nice. And I'm sorry I missed that part because it was so cool because Eric and I got to announce the PPG and PPCs, and we snuck Steve up there a couple times, and he actually was polite and didn't crack any goofy Steve jokes.
That took all the effort I had. I was dying on the inside.
Right? Because you knew I was going to grab that mic right out of your hand.
No, you wouldn't. I'm taller than you. I just
Right.
come on, jump for it.
So, Deweese, and how about you? Anything new with you?
Well, the newest thing is I've got my paramotor all put back together after the latest debacle, and my wing is on its way. It'll be here tomorrow from being repaired.
Woohoo!
I'm glad I sent it off because instead of 4 lines being damaged, I had 7 lines damaged. So that was 3 more than I thought. So I would have missed those if I repaired it myself. So everything's looking good. It'll be here tomorrow, and I should be back in the air.
Good. And if you guys didn't see some of Deweese's pictures with her new hoop, she paint dipped it, and you dyed your new net.
Yeah, it's purple.
Purplish. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lavender, really.
All right.
But the dip really turned out nice. It's like a psychedelic.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's get on to the little gremlins that are waiting before they need to go to bed, and Mom, Samantha. So let's join in with these guys.
Hi.
Hi, guys.
Oh, now your camera shot. You were going crazy a minute ago.
Let's see if we can fit you on the screen. What is going on? Ah!
Don't eat your crayon.
Hey,
Are
put
you
me
really
back
eating
up.
a crayon?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He just ate his crayon.
All right. So who do we have here tonight?
She's not my hands. I ate the whole thing.
Okay. Why didn't you introduce yourself?
That's Miles. I'm Xavier.
Yeah.
Not Miles.
Miles
and
and Xavier.
Xavier.
Yes.
Mommy, but why does the camera say I'm on this side? But he's
Oh,
on
because
this.
it's just flipped. I don't know. It's in your image.
So everyone,
Flip
this is
it over.
Samantha, and she's in New Jersey, and she's a paraglider, and
Ah,
she has twins. So
Yeah.
let's give her a hug.
Mommy, help me.
I'm gonna send the kids to bed real quick.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yep.
Say bye, guys.
All right.
Say
We'll
bye.
see you in a bit. All right. So anyway, we've got Sam that's going to come on. She's got a husband that is on a conference call. Supposed to be done at 7 minutes ago, but she's still with the gremlins. So she's going to try to put them down. So anyway, I think we've got somebody else in here. What is going on? It's Wendy
Wendy.
and Justin.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Hi guys,
have-
what are
I'm
you
trying
doing
to-
in here?
Keep Anna. We have a surprise for you.
For who?
I'm going to try and flip my camera. Let me see if I can. Oh, it's not going to. Let me see. Are you able to flip my camera on your side?
No.
If not, no big deal. We can do it this way. We're going to show you something because he's been up to something for a while now. And I want to show you just what. And it's a surprise to you, Jade.
Wait, now I gotta see Justin. Did he shave his? Steve.
Oh, he did.
Wait, he looks like a 12-year-old little boy.
Oh, you did say.
Oh, look at
Justin.
Oh man! If
Every
I were
time he does
unwed,
that,
I
I'm
would pick him
like-
in the manly fashion.
That's my
Justin.
husband. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
One. Okay. I was hoping to get it when the sun was shining on it, but are you ready? Here,
Okay.
honey, stand by it. About ready
You're
to
wearing
show.
my lipstick color again.
Look at that table for you.
Oh my gosh!
Hold on here.
Are you
Oh,
kidding?
oh, wow. That's beautiful.
It's
This
an
is what
epoxy
Eric's been-
table.
Oh, this is what Eric's been keeping quiet from me.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome, guys! Thank you.
Oh, hold on. This stupid thing going, it goes the opposite. So there, you got.
Look at it flying.
Oh,
Good
that's
gravy.
really beautiful.
Flying flamingo lounge. Put it down a little bit. Put it down a little bit.
Yeah, I
Wendy.
know, but it auto focuses for some reason, moves it out of the way.
Yeah, you were flying today, and I couldn't see over whatever was in your.
Yes, it was my little plastic piece, the rubber piece that's my lanyard. So I was so mad after that. I had a great 40-minute flight in my first cross country.
Oh, thank you. That is so awesome.
You can kind of see like how shiny it is. And
And
it's got all the
cool
live edge.
legs.
Like you can see the live edge wood.
Wow.
That is really pretty.
So if anybody wants some woodworking done, Justin is.
Ah, it took him a long time. Yeah, so like when you do this and hold on, let me see if
Oh,
Wow.
And the legs are all pink and black like flamingos.
nice.
and I think that's gonna go upside down, isn't it? Nope, that's right.
Nope, you're good.
It auto focuses and moves my camera around on this iPad Pro. That drives me nuts. But
That is so cool.
yeah.
Sweet.
So we're ready for you to come here in September
I guess we're coming, huh?
so that you can pick up your table
Yes.
and fly in Jersey Shore.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay. We'll get off of here so that you can
Okay.
do your good interview, and congratulations on you paragliding. It's awesome to see you out there paragliding.
Hey, by the way, Sam, this is Wendy that I was talking about that's at Jersey Shore. So you need to get in contact with her to maybe come over and start learning how to paramotor.
I know. I'm sure that's going to
Oh
get
yeah,
you
New
done.
Jersey.
Piece of cake.
Yeah,
she's
I
a
told
Jersey
Jade
girl.
that the highest altitude is probably the top of my driveway that I see on a daily basis here in Jersey. So
Yeah,
in
there's a
South Jersey
place.
at least.
There's a place here that are known for paragliders jumping off of a cliff area, and hang gliders go out there. There's a hang gliding area club.
Oh,
So
nice.
Wendy and Justin, if you want to stay on, you're more than welcome to. So
Oh, awesome.
I have to pack, so
Okay.
I'm gonna still
That's right.
watch you and listen, but I have to pack
Okay.
because I got to leave at 3:30 in the morning for Alaska.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Justin. Thank
Good
you,
to see
Wendy.
you guys.
I love you guys.
And congratulations on your new netting and new equipment there, Louise.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, enjoy your trip out there too. Also,
Tell her
Yep,
to
we
keep
are.
moving.
Yeah. Tell her, keep her
Moving.
moving.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, she told me she had a surprise, and that was pretty awesome.
That is pretty
All
old.
right.
That's a nice table.
Yeah. So let's get on with the show. Sam, are you ready?
Yeah, now we can have adult conversation, like when the gremlins, you know what I mean? It's like when one is in each ear, and
Yep.
then they're sort of. I only have like about 20% of my whatever adult focus when they're around, so this is good. They've been whisked away, so now
right.
they're in bed. So yeah.
So you need to tell me a little bit about your past. You've got an interesting
Oh,
story about
geez.
your past. I really
How-
loved it, and I think
Oh
it's so
wow.
special.
So I guess I'll start with the story, right? So I've been back to Utah twice to try to get some more airtime, and this last time I went to Utah, we had some days that weren't flyable. Went to Moab, did some hiking, and came across a couple of really awesome young families that were doing these amazing hikes with their young kids, and that was never me. So I never really got into any sort of like outdoors of anything until I was probably like in my 20s. I think I was in college and, had gone away to college. And then it was sort of like, joined outdoors clubs, started spelunking, did some climbing, got a little bit into like hiking, backpacking, dated somebody who was really into it. But when I was younger, that was never my family culture. We were not like a camping family or into any sort of like outdoor sports. And it wasn't until like years later that we kind of maybe sorted out why. So I was adopted at a really young age with my biological sister. And our adoptive family, who we've known, pretty much all of my memory life, I was adopted at 2.5. That just wasn't what they were into. My dad's like a Italian from North Jersey. My mother's is Irish Catholic that's from like North Jersey. And it just was never anything that they grew up with. It was just nothing in their culture. But when we went back to Korea and I ended up actually reuniting and meeting my biological mother, she told us all these stories about how she and my father used to like do all of these outdoors things. Like they used to go hiking and camping and all of this stuff. And it just at that point was sort of like, oh, maybe, this nature nurture thing, maybe that was always something that was in me, but I never really had the opportunity to do it until I was a lot older and kind of like do it on my own. So it's kind of late to, I guess, any sort of outdoor sports until probably at least into my 20s was when I sort of started really doing anything.
All right. So any questions in the chat at all? Or Steve or Deweese, do you guys have any questions with her?
No, I'm just ready to hear the story. I was telling Sam before we came on, like, there's a lot of paramotorists that are watching this, and we all are one, but I think free flight people are like next level. It's a different experience of flying, and I love listening to them.
So, it's interesting because we were talking a little bit about how like I never really knew much about motoring, to be honest, and sort of so in my 20s I started to do some hiking, and I like that question, why hasn't she flown PBG yet? That's a good question, and now I'm wondering more now that I see some of my hours compared to others. But I always like the idea of like hiking to high places. I've never had a fear of heights, and every time I've hiked to some sort of vista, I've always had this sort of weird desire to just be able to like jump right off, but not in like a crazy base jumping sort of high adrenaline junkie kind of way. I just always wanted to just kind of like walk off. It's weird. It's hard to explain. Even, I had a couple opportunities where I had gone hot air ballooning, or even later on had taken 2 tandem skydive jumps. And the free fall never did anything for me. I mean, I'm getting sucked out of a plane. That's kind of cool. But, that whole 10,000 foot drop free fall didn't really do a whole lot for me. And the second time I went skydiving, I asked the pilot, can you open your chute as soon as you can you open the chute, because I want to glide through the air as long as I can, because that's the part that I love. It was just such an amazing sensation of zen to be up in the sky and to just hear the wind. And for me, it was sort of the most awareness of my own breathing, just to be up there. And at that point, the pilot kind of turned to me and said, you know, you don't really want to skydive. You probably want to paraglide. And I had no idea, honestly, I had no idea what that was. I was just sort of like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm sure paraglide. So landed, and then I guess maybe had started to look into it. So going from sort of like that desire and that experience, like it was always about the glide. So I never really had a thought about motoring, to be honest. I think a lot of people, like Tucker Gott's from New Jersey, and somebody that I work with, like loves, I mean, there's a lot of Tucker fans, and he does some really amazing things. And he's a Jersey boy, but I honestly had no idea who he was until maybe a year and a half ago. Because it was just, the motor was nothing that I was really interested in. I don't know if it's the sound or if it just, for me, the idea always kind of came from gliding from a high place. But it just, the motoring was never something that I really kind of thought about until I realized that a lot of pilots I know that kind of train around by me, or some that trained at some of the same places that I did, that they were just getting a lot more airtime by being able to motor from like a soccer field or from like an airstrip nearby. There was actually a pilot that I had started with at a place in South Jersey who, you know, he's posting videos on Instagram of him, like, you know, with his feet like above the clouds. And I'm here like debating, like, am I going to camp overnight after a 3.5 hour drive to maybe catch a sledder? You know, because that's kind of what it is here where I am. If you're not advanced enough to fly thermic midday conditions, it's a bit of a ride to get to a site and to be in the conditions and at the right time to be able to fly. So I think the interest in motor, if I have one, would be to maybe be able to get up in the air more. But I think I would always still sort of love the idea of just gliding in the air, just quiet, and the hike. I actually love the hike part of the hike and fly. It's one of my favorite parts about it. So, and I don't know, I think if motors were, I actually looked into like electric motors, you know, like some of the small ones, and they're so expensive. Dude, like I need to stay married. And if I tell my husband I have a new hobby that requires like a new reserve, a new wing, and a crazy motor, I don't like, that's kind of pushing it, to be honest. That's kind of pushing it.
You sound like some of the guys.
You know, I, by the way, and I can say this because this is like Girls Want to Fly. And when I read that title, I was like, yeah, some of us
girls have to stick together.
Some of us are desperate. But every now and then, like, I'll hear these chats about like, oh, my wife, you know, it's so hard. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, really? Let's talk about how hard it is. Let's talk about how hard it is. Who's cooking dinner for the twins tonight? You know, it's kind of crazy. I also started like super late, right? Like I didn't even start outdoor sports until I was in my 20s. You know, some of these guys that I meet that are flying, that are just starting, they're young. They're like in their 20s, they're their 30s. They're people that are single, unmarried, no kids, working in the days of COVID, like remote working. So there's a lot more flexibility, I guess, and like sort of where you can be and what you can do. And it's